7 days. 3 dates every single morning. That's it. No fancy supplement. No expensive health routine. Just a small handful of something the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, ate over 1,400 years ago. I want to tell you what happens to your body when you actually try this. Not according to a marketing website. Not according to a health influencer. According to real science. And according to the man that Allah called the best of examples. Because what I found surprised me, and I think it will surprise you too. There is a hadith that many of us have heard. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever has 7 Ajwa, dates in the morning, will not be harmed by poison or magic that day." Reported in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. Now, when many of us first hear this, we file it away as spiritual advice, and it absolutely is that. But here is what is interesting. Modern researchers didn't start with that hadith. They started with a question. What is actually inside a date? What does it do to the human body? And the more they studied, the more that ancient guidance started making sense in a completely new way. Dates are one of the oldest cultivated fruits on earth. Archaeological evidence suggests they were grown in Mesopotamia at least 7,000 years ago. In Arabia, the date palm was not just food, it was survival. Its fruit fed people. Its leaves sheltered them. Its seeds were fed to animals. Its wood built homes. The Prophet, peace be upon him, called the date palm the aunt of the believer, a tree of honor, of provision, of blessing. But this video is not just history. It is not just spirituality. It is a practical experiment. What actually happens to your body when you eat 3 dates every morning, consistently, for 7 days? Let's go through it, day by day, system by system. And let's understand why. Day 1. Your body notices something different. The first morning you eat 3 dates on an empty stomach, your body receives something it recognizes immediately. Natural sugar, in a form it can absorb without effort. Dates contain 3 types of natural sugars: glucose, fructose, and sucrose. But unlike refined sugar, these sugars come packaged with fiber. And that fiber, specifically a type called beta-glucan and pectin, slows the absorption down. You get energy without the spike, without the crash, without the brain fog that follows a sugary breakfast. On day 1, many people report feeling more alert in the morning than usual. Not in a jittery, caffeinated way. A steadier kind of energy. The kind that allows you to move into your morning routine. Your Fajr prayer, your morning adhkar, your work, with clarity rather than fog. 3 dates contain roughly 200 calories, about 54 grams of carbohydrates, and 5 grams of fiber. It is not a heavy breakfast, but it is a nourishing one. And on an empty stomach, it wakes the digestive system gently, like a soft morning light rather than a bright overhead lamp. Day 2. Your gut begins to shift. By the second morning, something is happening in your digestive system. Dates are one of the most fiber-rich fruits available, and the type of fiber in dates, soluble fiber, does something specific. It feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. These bacteria, collectively called your gut microbiome, influence not just digestion, but your immune system, your mood, your energy levels, and your cognitive function. Researchers have studied the prebiotic effect of dates. The fiber in dates acts as a food source for good bacteria, like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. When these bacteria are well fed, they produce short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation in the gut lining. If you have struggled with bloating, sluggish digestion, or irregular bowel movements, you may notice a gentle shift starting on day 2 or 3. Not dramatic, but the kind of quiet improvement that tells you something in your gut is moving in the right direction. The Prophet, peace be upon him, had a simple and consistent diet. He ate lightly. He never overfilled his stomach. He prioritized whole, natural foods. Modern gastroenterology now knows that gut health is central to almost everything else in the body. The Sunnah was practicing that understanding long before the science arrived. If this kind of content speaks to you, where Sunnah wisdom meets real science, then the Prophetic Garden is your channel. We explore Islamic health teachings, Sunnah foods, and faith-inspired gardening every single week. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. It genuinely helps this message reach more people. Now, Gasteria, back to the experiment, because day 3 is where things start getting really interesting. Day 3, your heart is being looked after. By day 3 of eating 3 dates every morning, your cardiovascular system has been receiving something powerful, potassium. 3 dates provide approximately 450 to 500 milligrams of potassium. To put that in perspective, a medium banana contains about 420 milligrams. Most adults do not consume nearly enough potassium in their daily diet, and this deficiency is one of the most common and most overlooked contributors to high blood pressure. Potassium works in opposition to sodium in the body. When you consume adequate potassium, it helps the kidneys excrete excess sodium, which in turn relaxes the walls of blood vessels. Less tension in blood vessel walls means lower blood pressure. Lower blood pressure means less strain on the heart. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that dates contain anthocyanins and phenolic compounds that may help reduce the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the type of cholesterol most associated with arterial plaque buildup. 3 dates a day will not single-handedly reverse heart disease. That needs to be stated clearly. But as part of a consistent, wholesome diet, the kind the Prophet modeled, they contribute to a heart-friendly pattern of eating. And there is something deeply meaningful about this. The Prophet, peace be upon him, ate dates regularly, simply and gratefully. He was not eating them because he read a nutrition label. He ate them because they were a blessing from Allah. And in that act of simple gratitude and Sunnah following, he was protecting his heart in more ways than one. Day 4. Your brain gets a quiet upgrade. This is the one that surprises people the most. Dates contain vitamin B6, also called pyridoxine. Vitamin B6 plays a direct role in the production of serotonin and norepinephrine, 2 neurotransmitters that regulate mood, sleep, and cognitive function. They also contain choline, a nutrient that supports memory and brain cell communication. Researchers have explored the neuroprotective potential of date consumption. Some studies have looked at whether the antioxidant compounds in dates may help reduce oxidative stress in brain cells, one of the underlying mechanisms associated with cognitive decline over time. The research is still developing, but the direction is consistently positive. By day 4 of your date experiment, you will not suddenly have a sharper memory. That is not how nutrition works. But what many people notice around this time is a mood shift, a slight steadiness, less irritability in the mid-morning, a calmer approach to challenges that might normally create stress. Part of that is biochemical, the B vitamins, the stable blood sugar, the gut-brain connection improving. But part of it is spiritual. When you begin your day with an act of Sunnah, with intention, with Bismillah, with the memory of the Prophet, your morning carries a different weight. You are not just eating. You are choosing to live by divine guidance. And that choice, repeated every morning, changes how you move through the day. Day 5. Your bones are being strengthened. We do not usually think about our bones in relation to fruit. We think about milk. We think about calcium supplements. But dates are quietly one of the most mineral-dense fruits available. 3 dates provide meaningful amounts of magnesium, phosphorus, calcium, and manganese, all minerals that play direct roles in bone density and skeletal health. Magnesium is particularly critical. Studies suggest that a large proportion of adults are deficient in magnesium, and this deficiency is linked to weaker bone structure, muscle cramps, poor sleep, and increased anxiety. Magnesium is also essential for the proper absorption of calcium. You can consume all the calcium in the world, but without adequate magnesium, your body cannot use it effectively. Dates provide both in a natural, bioavailable form that the body recognizes and absorbs efficiently. For older adults especially, this is significant. As we age, maintaining bone density becomes increasingly important. The Sunnah diet, dates, olive oil, milk, wholesome grains, collectively provides a remarkable mineral foundation, not because anyone designed it as a bone health protocol, but because Allah, the creator of bones, and the revealer of the Quran, guided his prophet to eat what was truly good. Day 6. Your energy stabilizes in a way you did not expect. By day 6, something subtle but significant has happened to your energy pattern. Most people in the modern world start their day with a sugar spike, sweet tea, a pastry, a sugary cereal, followed by a crash by mid-morning. Then they reach for caffeine, then another crash. It is an exhausting cycle, and most people accept it as normal. But after 6 days of starting your morning with 3 dates, natural sugars, fiber, minerals, and healthy carbohydrates, your blood sugar curve has begun to flatten. You may notice that you are not reaching for the mid-morning coffee as desperately. You may notice that your concentration holds for longer before it dips. You may notice that you feel genuinely hungry at lunch, not desperate, not shaky, just naturally ready to eat. Dates have a glycemic index of roughly 42 to 55, depending on the variety, which places them in the low to medium range, despite their sweetness. This is because of their fiber content. The sugar is real, but the fiber is the gatekeeper. It controls the rate at which that sugar enters your bloodstream. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was known for eating small amounts and stopping before fullness. He recommended beginning a meal with something light and ending it before reaching satiety. 3 dates in the morning is a perfect embodiment of that philosophy. Enough to nourish, light enough to not burden, sweet enough to satisfy the soul. Day 7. You look back and notice. What changed? On the 7th morning, you eat your 3 dates, and this time it feels different. Not because the dates have changed, but because you have. Something about a 7-day commitment creates a pattern. You did not just eat a fruit. You practiced a sunnah consistently, intentionally, every morning. And now it sits comfortably in your routine like it always belonged there. What do people typically notice after 7 days? Digestion is smoother. The bloated, heavy feeling that many carry through the morning is reduced. Energy in the first half of the day is steadier. Sleep the night before each morning felt slightly more settled, likely connected to the magnesium and B6 accumulating in the system. And something else, something harder to measure, but very real, a quiet sense of spiritual consistency, of living even one small part of the prophetic life every single day. Now let us return to that hadith from the beginning, the one about Ajwa, dates offering protection from poison and magic. Scholars of Islam have written extensively on this. Many note that the spiritual protection comes with sincere intention and iman. Others note that the physical properties of Ajwa, dates specifically, which have been studied for their anti-platelet and antioxidant properties in Saudi research, may lend a dimension of bodily protection as well. The point is not to reduce the hadith to a nutrition fact. The point is that the Prophet's guidance operates on multiple levels simultaneously: spiritual, physical, and practical. When we follow it, we benefit in ways we may not even fully understand. That is the nature of divine guidance. Growing your own. A gardening note. If you want to take this further, consider growing your own date palm. Date palms can be grown in pots in many climates. They do not fruit easily outside their natural arid environment, but even as an ornamental plant, they carry enormous meaning. A date palm in your home is a daily visual reminder of the Quran, of Maryam, of the Prophet's table, of the blessing Allah placed in this tree. If you live in a warm, dry climate, the Middle East, North Africa, Southern California, parts of Australia, you can grow a fruiting date palm with patience. They take years to mature, but that patience is itself a lesson. The best things take time. The Sunnah was not built in a day. Start with a Medjool or Deglet Noor variety, if you can find one locally. Plant it in sandy, well-draining soil. Give it full sun. Water it deeply, but infrequently, and let it grow, slowly, steadily, the way all blessed things grow. The bottom line: 7 days, 3 dates, every morning. What actually happened? Your gut received prebiotic fiber that began feeding the beneficial bacteria living inside you. Your heart received potassium that helped manage blood pressure. Your brain received B vitamins that supported neurotransmitter production. Your bones received magnesium and phosphorus. Your energy received a stable, slow-release fuel source that replaced the morning spike and crash cycle. And your soul received something that no supplement can give: the quiet satisfaction of following the Prophet, peace be upon him, in even this small act, the barakah of beginning your day, the way he began his, the reminder, every single morning, before the noise of the world begins, that you belong to a tradition of wisdom, of health, of divine guidance. Do not wait for a health crisis to discover the Sunnah. Do not wait until the doctor tells you that your blood pressure is too high, your digestion is suffering, or your energy is spent. The guidance was already given. The medicine was already placed on the tree. You just have to reach for it. Start tomorrow morning. 3 dates. Bismillah. And see what 7 days can do. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.